Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Yorkshire Media. I am Mark, What am I? I am your host, whatever you want me to be. And yes, I am cheaper than the BBC, ITV, Channel 4 and Channel 5, and I am definitely better than Sky. So, what are we talking about today? Well, this is going to be history. History Corner with Mark. And doing History of Wakefield, Part 2. Now, I don't know exactly where we left off, but I'm going to do it from here. So in 1203, William de Warenne, 5th Earl of Surrey, received a grant for a market in the town. In 1204, King John granted the rights for fair at the feast of All Saints, 1st of November, and in 1258, Henry III granted the right for fair on feast of St. John the Baptist. 24th of June, the market was closed to the bullring and the church, and the townfolk of Wakefield amused themselves in games and sports. The chief sport in the 14th century was archery, and the butts in Wakefield were the inns near the river. Wakefield was dubbed the Merry City in the Middle Ages. Memorial to the Duke of York, killed in battle in 1460. And that's what that is there. Can you see that? That's a memorial to him. During the War of the Roses, Richard Plantagenet, Duke of York, was killed on the 30th of December 1460 in the Battle of Wakefield near Sandal Castle in medieval times. Wakefield became an inland port on the Calder and centre for the woolen and tanning trades. In 1538, John Leland described Wakefield as a very quick market town and meatilely large, well served fish and flesh, both from sea and by rivers, so that all the vital is very good and cheap. They are right honest man shall fare well for 2d a meal. There be plenty of seat and coal in the quarters about Wakefield. As preparation for the impending invasion, the Spanish Armada in April 1558, 400 men from the wapentake of Morley and Abrig were summoned to Buncliffe near Morley with their weapons. Men from Kirkgate, Westgate, Northgate and Sandal were amongst them, and all returned by August. At the time of the Civil War, Wakefield was a royalist stronghold. An attack led by Sir Thomas Fairfax on the 20th of May 1643 captured the town for the parliamentarians. Over the 1,500 troops were taken prisoner along with the royalist commander, Lieutenant General Goring. In 1699, an Act of Parliament was passed creating the Air and Calder Navigation, which provided the town with access to the North Sea. The first registry of the deeds in the county opened in 1704 and 1765. Wakefield's cattle market was established and became the largest in the north of England. The town was centre for clove dealing with its own Peace Hall and the Tammy Hall, but in 1766, in the late 1700s, Georgian town houses and St John's Church were built to the north of the town. And if you look about it, and there they are, that's what you're looking at. At the start of the 19th century, Wakefield was a wealthy market town and inland port, trading in wool and grain. The Aire and Calder and Ebble navigations and the Barnsley Canal were instrumental in the development of Wakefield as an important market for grain and more was sold here than at any other market in the north. Large warehouses were built on the river banks to store grain from Norfolk and Cambridgeshire and Lincolnshire to supply the fast growing population in the West Riding of Yorkshire. Great quantities of barley were grown in the neighbourhood, and 1885 more malt was made in Wakefield than in any district equal extent in the kingdom. The market developed in the streets around the Bullring, and the Kettle Market between George Street and Ings Road grew to be one of the biggest in the country. Road transport using turnpike roads was important. Regular mail coaches departed to Leeds, London, Manchester, York, and Sheffield, and the Stratford Downs was an important coaching in. The railways arrived in Wakefield in 1840 when Kirkgate Station was built on the Manchester and Leeds Railway. When cloth dealing declined, wool spinning mills using steam power were built by the river. There was a glassworks in Caldervale Road, several breweries including Melbourne's and Beverley's Eagle breweries, engineering works with strong links to the mining industry, soap works and brick yards in Eastmoor, giving the town a diverse economy, and boats and sloops were built at yards on the Calder. On the outskirts of the town, coal had been dug since the 15th century, and 300 men were employed in town's coal pits. In 1850, during the 19th century, more mines were sunk to that there were 46 small mines in Wakefield and surrounding area. By 1869, the National Coal Board eventually became Wakefield's largest employee. Manor Colliery on Cross Lane and Park Hill Quarry at Eastmoor, surviving until 1982. Wakefield was also the site of the founding of the Miners' Association Great Britain and Ireland, the county's first national trade union for miners in 1842. During the 19th century, Wakefield became administrative centre for the West Riding, when many familiar buildings were constructed. The first civic building in Wood Street, the courthouse, was built in 1810. The West Riding Pauper Lunatic Asylum was built in Stanley Road, just outside the town on Aberford Road in 1816. Outside the 19th century, the Wakefield Asylum played a central role in the development of British psychiatry with Henry Maudsley and James Crichton Brown. Amongst its medical staff, most of it is now demolished. The old house of the Correction of 15 was rebuilt as Wakefield Prison in 1847. Wakefield Union Workhouse was built on Park Lodge Lane, Eastmoor, in 18, and Clayton Hospital was built 1854 after donation for Alderman Thomas Clayton. The Mechanics Institute, containing an assembly rooms, public library and newsroom supported by subscription, was built in Wood Street in 1821 in the classical style with iconic details. Wakefield Literary Society ran from 1827 until 20th century, and its Geological Society left artefacts to Wakefield Museum. Up to 1837, Wakefield relied on wells and springs for its water supply. Water from the River Calder was polluted, and various water supply schemes were unsuccessful until a reservoir on the Rishworth Moors and a service reservoir at Ardsley were built, providing clean water from 1888 from 1888. By 1885, the streets of the town were paved, flagged, and it with gas supplied by a company incorporated in 1822. Between 1870 and 1885, they made improvements on the north side of the town around St John's Church. So, on 2nd of June 1906, Andrew Cringy opened a new Wakefield library on Drury Lane, which has been built with a grant of £8,000 from the Carnage Trust. There was 7 ex-council estates in Wakefield which the council started to build after the First World War. The oldest is Portobello, the largest is Lupsey, and the rest are Flintshire, Plumpton, Peacock, Eastmore, Kettleford homes not bought by occupants under the Right to Buy scheme were transferred to Registered Social Landlord Wakefield and District Housing WTH in 2005. Outlying Village, Sandal, Magna, Bellevue and Abrig have become suburbs of Wakefield. Yeah. So, see, there's a lot more to work with. The glass and textile industry closed in the 1970s and 80s. Coal faced competition from alternative sources and demand decreased. The coal mines around Wakefield were almost the first in Yorkshire to close under the government of Margaret Thatcher, which altered the national energy policy for reliance on British coal and opposed the political power of the NUM between 1983 and the pits at Lofthouse Manor, Newmarket, New Millerdam, Parkhill and Wallen all closed as Wakefield pits closed. The Selby coalfield was being opened. Many colliers in Wakefield accepted offers to transfer to the new pits were built to facilitate commuting. An April 2021 article that in The Guardian discussed nearby Eve Common, the village of the 200-year-old mansion located around the edge of the green. These housed the wealthy merchants and business owners. The local newspaper published specifics about one of the mansions in March 2021. Dower House was built circa 1740. It was constructed for John Smythe by John Carr of Yorkshire Stone and retains many original features as it was intended to house widows. The Dower House is Grade 2 listed property and it was modified in the early 1800s. The nearby Eve West Yorkshire, formerly known as Eshield House, was also built circa 1709 for the wealthy wool trade John Smythe. The hall was modified by John Carr between 70 and 80 for the original owner's nephew and also known as John Smythe. The hall is a Grade 1 listed building. There you go. That is the history of Wakefield. Now I've done it. I've done it all. That is all the history. I mean, there's not much more you can go into. So that is so that's part 2 of History of Wakefield. I hope you've liked that little look into it. I really do. And that I will be doing more history things. I will be doing another history corner, obviously, but I thought I'd get this one knocked out. Get it done. I think you've been waiting long enough for part 2. So this is History Corner, the History of Wakefield part 2. It's History Corner with Mark in it. So there you go. If you have liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you're new. And if hit the bell, hit all. That will let you know when I'm popping up another video and you can watch it. Also, please share the video to your friends and your family and to other social media like Twitter, Facebook and Instagram and things like that. Yeah, Bing and all that, you know what I mean. And also, please comment below. It's important that we can talk. Comment below and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now. Bye.